Oh man, here we go again. The old meme is back when it comes to the Nintendo Switch successor, Nintendo Switch 2, apparently the name of it. We're going to talk about so much stuff going on here when it comes down to this. But yes, we've got some new information or rumors that you should absolutely take with a grain of salt at this point, all right? Just take it with a grain of salt. But my man Stealth is back at it again, talking about this on Twitter. Got a lot of traction. I saw, wow, videos all over the place and everything. So it was awesome and funny at the same time to see. And funny because I was reading through my post that I had on Twitter talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 and how there is a rumor saying that that is going to be the name. And I have deduced two things from this. One, there are people who have no idea about Nintendo. And two, there are people that have mental scarring, like permanent mental scarring and trauma from the Wii U. Those are like the two things that I can soundly say is a thing on the Gameosphere on Twitter, at least. But we're going to get into all of that and more of the information and so much other stuff. But before we get into that, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. And let's go ahead and jump right into this. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 and how apparently that is the name for it. So shout out to my man Stealth once again on Twitter, stating that according to a new rumor from Family Boards, Nintendo Switch 2 has begun mass production in China. The system is named just Switch 2, and there will be black and white Joy-Cons. As always, take with a grain of salt until officially revealed by Nintendo. He also goes on to give his own opinion, which we value Stealth's opinion here, so we will talk about it more. He stated that based on what Furukawa said, March 31st, 2025 is the latest Switch's successor will be officially unveiled. I thought Nintendo might want to wait until January to at least give Switch one last really strong holiday period. Now I feel it will happen before the end of 2024. He also stated that if it's called Switch 2, I think that's a good enough name. Everyone will already be sold on the concept of a better Switch, and that's half the battle of selling a new system. The most important thing, in my opinion, are the games. First and third party software during the first year and beyond. So I think that Stealth nails it right there at the end, which a lot of the people that were on my Twitter feed when I posted this story and said all of that, they don't understand that games actually sell a system. And I know it's a crazy concept, right, guys? Like, there's no way that people could truly think that games sell a system, but there's honestly people who feel that games don't sell a system and it's more about theatrics and gimmicks and other things and just simply marketing. And it's like, you know, if you have great games, the marketing just kind of just like rolls with it. Like if you have the games that people truly want to buy, it'll sell itself for the most part. You just got to put it in front of them with stuff like Nintendo Directs, for example. But yeah, that's very important. But we're going to talk about this because the Nintendo Switch 2, just that being the name, well, yeah, I guess that is right. Half the battle is essentially just having something to where people know what it is. And anytime that you bring this up with naming, it immediately goes to the albatross, the black sheep, the whatever you want to call it, the bad luck omen, the black witch, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but people get into this doomsday scenario where they're going to call it Nintendo Switch U, or because the Wii U, because of the Wii U this, because of the Wii U that, because of the Wii U this. We're going on what? Now 2 gens removed from that system and it's not going to be the same thing. People are still saying they're going to go back to that. Now you also have to remember, because I do want to get into a factual historical purposes here, and I think that a lot of people online don't realize that Nintendo's not an entity. They're run by people. I know it's kind of hard because sometimes it's a corporation and all that, but people think of the ideas, people think of what's happening, people think of the marketing, people think of everything. And if you change the people that think of X, Y, and Z things, and if you move or shift it to somebody else, they're going to have their own management style. They're going to have their own potential ways of doing things. And you can clearly see that the shift from the late, great Mr. Satoru Iwata, who unfortunately passed away back in 2015, but even him laying the groundwork of the foundations for the Switch, and probably that was his name as well, you can see that they've moved over from kind of having more of the weird and quirky type of names to more stuff that just conveys exactly what the system is. And we've seen that all throughout the Nintendo Switch's life. Heck, we've even seen videos of people stating that they miss the old Nintendo, the puppets and the robot chicken and all the other things that they used to do. Nintendo's went more like, hey, here's the directs, here's the games, here's the information. I mean, every now and then you'll get a rogue Doug Bowser fighting against Bowser, or you'll get one of the people playing Nintendo Switch Sports or something. But for the most part, they don't have those huge, larger-than-life personalities like Mr. Iwata and like Reggie Fils-Aimé, and even to a degree, some of the other people that they've had over the years that's kind of calling the shots at this point. It's kind of moved more towards a corporate, more towards, hey, we know what we do best, and this is what we do best. We do Zelda, we do Mario, we do Pokemon, we do all of that, right? We do Xeno, we do Fire Emblem. This is what we do best. This is how it sells the system. Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, all that good stuff, right? And it's worked incredibly well. This will probably end up being the best-selling system of all time, or very close to being the best-selling system of all time. It's already number 3 all-time in the history of home gaming consoles, or just gaming devices just in general, so I do feel that Nintendo will continue on a bit more and get that title. But even if it stopped right now, that's still incredibly impressive to sell more than 140 million plus systems at this point. So I do feel that people need to realize that Nintendo has moved on from that. They do have Mr. Furukawa, who is incredibly conservative in terms of how he runs things compared to what Nintendo did before, compared to talking to the media and things like that. Heck, he rarely ever gives any type of interviews or anything like that. So it's just something that Nintendo has kind of shifted over to, and I think that it's definitely affected their naming conventions and what they've done. So let me give you guys a perfect example of this. If you go back to the Nintendo 3DS days, look at what they did for the next systems in line. You have the new Nintendo 3DS. You had the new Nintendo 2DS XL. You had all these different type of naming things that might have been a little bit confusing for people out there, but people absolutely hated the new moniker name on the Nintendo 3DS. They said that it was going to fail like the Wii U if they decided to do that. Like literally, we had people saying that, even though obviously it didn't happen, but that's how much people were saying with certain things, and the marketing and who was in charge at the time with those names. With the Nintendo Switch, it's exactly what it is. It switches from one thing to another. That's it. Even with the Nintendo Switch Lite, doesn't switch, but you know what the system is. It plays these games. It plays Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey. It plays Super Smash Brothers, all of that, but it's light. It's small, just like the DS Lite. Smaller, compact, easier to hold, easier to carry, fit in the pocket, so Nintendo Switch Lite. Then you look at the Nintendo Switch OLED. In the past, they would have called that Nintendo Switch Extra Advanced Bright or something. I don't know, I'm just making up something that they probably wouldn't have done. But you guys know what I mean, right? They would have called it something a little bit different than just exactly what it is, which is an OLED screen. And that's what they called it, Nintendo Switch OLED. There was nothing else added to that. So what I'm trying to say here is clearly you can see that they want to make sure that they give you a concise and, hey, this is what this product is. There's no anything else outside of it. This is what it is. But this, once again, hypothetically speaking, it is a rumor, so we absolutely need to take it that way. Now, whether I think the name is good or not, I don't think it really matters. I saw so many people, especially old heads like myself, that were saying it needs to be called Super Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch Super, which I guess that it might be called Nintendo Switch Super, not Super Nintendo Switch, but Nintendo Switch Super. Now, the counterpoints to all of that were, okay, well, that worked 35 years ago when the only thing was a Nintendo Entertainment System. So, oh, it's the next thing. And there wasn't those revisions that we would call other stuff outside of maybe smaller, more compact systems, but it'd still just be called the Nintendo Entertainment System. But in today's day, with all the different upgrades that we get in between systems that we've had since then, it doesn't really make sense to call it Super. That sounds more like an upgrade to the current system more than the next actual system. So I do agree with that. Now, I think that good marketing and good games could absolutely define, hey, what you can play on the Switch 1 and what you can play on the Nintendo Switch Super, hypothetically speaking, if that was the name. But I do feel that it does kind of convey in today's day, considering we've had all these different types of names like the new and the XL and all this other type of stuff. Overall, I think it does kind of convey maybe that that is more of a upgrade. Now, if that upgrade provides incredible games that people absolutely want to play, they will find a way to research and play those games. Too many times I see people saying, oh, well, the name is the reason why something completely tailspin. And it's like, no, not necessarily. It's the games in terms of people necessarily weren't rushing out to play Nintendo Land or to play the games that were out there. New Super Mario Bros. U. They weren't rushing out there to play those type of games. It was more so the marketing and making sure people knew exactly what it was in addition to providing those big blockbuster games. If The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild somehow was a launch title for the Nintendo Wii U, it would have done considerably better than what we saw with the system. And just like the Nintendo Switch, why that system did so well, well, they had The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild right there at launch. Go back to the Nintendo Wii. They had Wii Sports, which was a breakout hit for the casual audience and for gamers alike. And then they also had The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for the Nintendo Wii. They put that out first before the GameCube version. So you have that big core game that hardcore gamers are going to get excited about. Whether it's the Switch, they got that with Breath of the Wild, or it's Twilight Princess. One of the things that you would want to have is that big, huge title. Not a 2D type of game, not just a casual audience type of game. Although if it works, it worked really well, but you still need that core big game. But it's not just that. You have to have a consistent, steady stream of games throughout the launch year. You can't just say, okay, we're going to have this game and that's that. That's what happened with the Wii U. They had their 2 games and it took a while before we got another major first party title. Nintendo needs to do it like they did with the Nintendo Switch, where you have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, then you have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, then you have ARMS, then you have Splatoon, then you have Mario plus Rabbids, third-party game, but Mario IP. You have Pokken Tournament, you have Fire Emblem Warriors, you have Super Mario Odyssey, you have Xenoblade Chronicles 2. All of that was in the first year, along with the third-party games, in order to really get people excited about the system, playing anywhere that they want. We need that with the Nintendo Switch too. Just like Stealth says here, we need that consistent lineup of first and third party games. Now the marketing, once again, is going to fit into that. The name is going to fit into that. But if you don't have those games, it's going to be a problem. And if the Nintendo Switch 2, even if it's called something that people don't like or feel that it's going to be whatever the case is, as long as they have that big next Animal Crossing, that big Pokemon game, that big Mario, 3D Mario game, the next big Mario Kart, the next big Super Smash Brothers, they'll figure out a way to get things done overall. So for me, yes, gotta have the good name, gotta have whatever the case is, that's fine. But more importantly, the first and third party games, first party games, making sure that people get excited, the core Nintendo fans get excited to buy the system. That's going to be so important, especially considering there is 140 million plus people, probably people that have bought multiple systems, but you guys know what I mean. 100 million unique users plus out there that are playing the Nintendo Switch. It's definitely going to be an undertaking to get all of those people to say, okay, I'm going to drop $300, $400, maybe more dollars in order to get this system. But the games are the key. The games are 100% the key in order to get that done, along with the great marketing and of course along with the Nintendo Directs. Those all go hand in hand. You have a Nintendo Direct, you're not beholden to anybody else. That was one of the issues with the Nintendo Wii U. They're going at E3, everything is live, people are live blogging, people are live typing, everyone can easily put out misinformation right then and there. However, if you do a Nintendo Direct to reveal things, you can look at it, you can look at it again, you can get fresh eyes on it, and you can make sure you cross every single T, dot every single I, and edit everything the way you know that it can be edited in order to portray exactly what this system is, so there is zero confusion. And I think people don't realize that a lot of the confusion with the name and everything is because it was done live and people were reporting on it live and making videos live, and it was just confusing from there. But if there was an edited Nintendo Direct, they could have absolutely easily said, okay, hold up, let's take a look at that. We didn't show the system as much, blah, 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 right? You can get so many eyes on it and you can revise it and redo everything that you need to do. So I think that clearly they've been doing that throughout the whole Nintendo Switch generation. There has not been any type of confusion or problems. Even if you look at when they revealed the Nintendo Switch OLED, when they revealed the Nintendo Switch Lite, they clearly showed you what it was and what it can do in a highly edited video, showing it off in terms of how much smaller it was and everything, and saying, hey, this is the Nintendo Switch, but this is our new product. That's exactly what they're going to do here with the Nintendo Switch 2, or whatever they decide to call it. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. Overall, I think fans are going to be excited, and I think that the biggest thing here is that they're going to show off some dope games, and the games are going to be the lifeblood of this system, along with the boosted horsepower, more RAM, better visuals, all that good stuff, all those bells and whistles. But man, the games are what get me excited about this next device, especially some of the big RPGs that are rumored, like Metaphor ReFantazio, for example, and even other RPGs that are probably keeping in the back pocket for the Nintendo Switch 2, considering the dominance of the Nintendo Switch, and of course the extra horsepower to run some of more of the games that they have on Xbox and PlayStation. So what do you guys think overall when it comes to all of this with the name Nintendo Switch 2? Do you think that's the name? I'm still skeptical just because it's a rumor, so once again, take with a grain of salt, but you never know at this point, right? We'll have to wait and see. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch and RPG videos right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.